Imagine looking up to see the sky tearing apart. Fire rains down, glaciers vaporize, and a tidal wave erases everything you know. According to a deeply popular theory, this cataclysm wiped out a hyper-advanced global Ice Age empire. The few survivors scattered across the globe, arriving on the shores of simple hunter-gatherers to pass down the sacred secrets of mathematics, agriculture, and civilization. These phantom saviors are credited with designing humanity's earliest and most complex structural achievements. We are told that the circular stone structures and towering pillars at sites like Göbekli Tepe are actually the fingerprints of these ancient teachers. Recently, millions of people tuned into a blockbuster television documentary series built entirely on this premise. The psychological hook is incredibly effective. It positions a lone investigator against a dogmatic scientific establishment, claiming that mainstream archaeologists are deliberately hiding the truth to protect their own careers. It plays out like a Hollywood thriller, but accepting this narrative requires discarding a mountain of physical evidence. Mainstream archaeologists protect the verifiable record of human history from being replaced by fiction, which forces us to ask, what happens when a story that has captured the public imagination is exposed as a carefully constructed illusion? Looking closely at the data behind these claims is necessary, because the cost of this myth is the erasure of indigenous human ingenuity. If a highly advanced society sailed the Earth to teach humanity how to survive, they would have left behind the ultimate biological fingerprint. Modern genetics traces human migrations with intense precision, mapping our ancestors' specific journeys. An advanced empire mingling with isolated populations would leave a massive, unmistakable genetic trail. Yet, when searching the data for a globe-spanning population interacting with Ice Age hunter-gatherers, we find nothing. Out of thousands of sequenced ancient DNA samples, there is absolute silence. The phantom race does not exist in the human genome. Then there's the problem of the food. If a universal teacher traveled the globe establishing agriculture, they'd have brought their crops with them. The ancient agricultural foundation of the Americas was built entirely on native crops like potatoes, tomatoes, and corn, carefully cultivated over generations. Across the ocean, early societies in Europe and Asia relied on vastly different staples, domesticating wheat, rice, and pigs. If there was a single global civilization teaching humanity how to farm, the divided global menus prove they inexplicably forgot to share their own crops. The physical evidence used to support the theory falls apart under similar scrutiny. Take the Bimini Road, a massive structure resting under the clear waters of the Bahamas. The narrative insists these block-like slabs are the remains of a paved highway leading to a sunken Atlantis. Geology provides a verifiable explanation. This structure is natural beach rock. Sand and calcium carbonate rapidly cement together, and when exposed to the sun and shallow surf, naturally fracture into these uniform, rectangular slabs. We see the exact same pattern of misattribution underground. In Turkey, the sprawling subterranean architecture of Derinkoyu features miles of carved stone pillars and massive millstones. The apocalypse narrative frames this as a 10,000-year-old fallout shelter built to survive a comet impact. Archaeological dating of the artifacts inside reveals these tunnels were actually carved in the 8th century by local populations fleeing invading medieval armies. Every supposed physical anomaly presented by the theory can be fully explained by the natural forces of the Earth, or the verified engineering skills of independent local builders. Treating this theory as a harmless fantasy ignores the deep cultural damage it causes. This narrative rests on the implication that the ancestors of modern indigenous populations were incapable of achieving greatness on their own. Instead of celebrating the people who learned to move mountains of earth and stone to build monuments like the Great Pyramid of Cholula in Mexico, the theory credits a phantom race of saviors. This has direct consequences today. When the creators of this television phenomenon attempted to film at places like Chaco Canyon, Native American tribal leaders vehemently objected. For the Hopi and Pueblo peoples, these semicircular stone ruins are living, sacred ancestral footprints. Erasing the hard-won heritage of these communities to prop up a television mystery is a profound insult to the rigorous work of archaeology and to human history itself. As a species, We are deeply obsessed with our origins. We crave simple, cinematic answers to the complex, brutal reality of early human survival. But the real story is far more impressive. Countless diverse cultures faced shifting climates and brutal ice ages, and independently figured out how to domesticate wild grasses, carve underground cities, and lift massive monolithic stones toward the heavens. They simply did not need a savior. The idea of a forgotten empire is a fiction, but the proven ingenuity of these diverse human cultures remains the most remarkable part of our history.